Hi, my name is Aisha. Welcome to One Elder Speaks. Today I have something for you that I've been wanting to share for about a month, but it's a lot of information and it's kind of difficult for me to uh, if I was just going to sit down and talk about this, then I would probably go all over the place on tangents and repeat myself and stuff. Since it's a lot of information, I went ahead and I wrote it down. And I'm just going to stick to the script or else I'm going to be all over the place. This is going to be about rabbit holes, about left versus right, and about how are we going to come together? How are we going to make this work for everybody, not just for me and not just for you, but for everybody. So about 2010, 2000, I don't know, in the early teens, I went down the conspiracy theory rabbit holes. And I've always had a real thirst for finding out why things happen. History was not fascinating to me until I started getting information about why these events were happening. That was always what made it real to me. And I had an opportunity to find out all the information, and I followed all the information in the websites, and I watched the movies, and I in the documentaries, and all of these conspiracy theories always had a specific group of bad guys associated with them. So like a cabal, the Illuminati, parasitic aliens, something was behind all the things that were going on. And that as just a regular person, I wasn't able to affect change or touch that, and I recognized that. And I was starting to get kind of ate up with it and get more anxious about it, and I started to get more jaded about things, and it kind of egged on whatever fears I already had, and getting my passions riled up. And at some point, I just kind of had to say enough, and I kind of had to step away. Regarding what I found, some of it really resonated as truth to me, and some of it, I just allowed for the possibility because I was like, I don't really have enough information to say whether that's true or not. And some of it was downright, no, I don't think so. So my truth really ended up being what made sense to me and what I intuited as truth. So like, gather all that information, and then what feels correct to me, what feels right. But I had to step away from it to get my balance and my sense of peace back in my life. Information is an interesting thing. Truth is very subjective. And with the U.S. media being owned by very few companies and in the U.S., and with knowing and understanding historically what yellow journalism was in the late 1800s, you can see how a narrative can become very controlled. When you go beyond that, when you go into corporate America and you look at projects that are being presented for possible profits down the road, and you look at the spreadsheets and you look at the reports, and you begin to understand that the information, the outcome of the information is very dependent upon what information is put into the spreadsheets, what information is put into the reports. And you can make those results pretty much look like you want them to, depending upon how you input that information and how you measure its importance in that report or spreadsheet. And so you can control kind of whatever that truth is that you're presenting. When you look in the scientific community, I had heard something about, that something will be changed just by being observed. I don't know that much about the physics end of it, but they did talk about, I did Google some stuff, and they did talk about observer bias and the observer effect. And there again, the truth that you get on at the end of the scientific experiment can be very much skewed by uh, by what the scientist is wanting to see or check into, or what the input is, and how clear that is, or how unbiased that would be. So, we all these things affect truth. And information, we've got an overload of information going on right now, and so the only way that we're going to find the truth is by checking within. What feels correct? What sounds correct? What what resonates? Now let's talk about what recent events have brought to light. I may be wrong about this, but all of the people that I know that voted for the former president and the QAnon people, when they speak, they seem to have a common denominator, and that common denominator is fear. They're afraid to lose their home, their livelihood, their 401k, their gun. There's a lot of anxiousness regarding their security, that what was in their life yesterday will be what is in their life tomorrow. It's absolutely intoxicating to have someone stand up and say, it's not your fault, it's the immigrants, it's the Chinese, it's the liberal left. We can take it back and make America great again. That is absolutely intoxicating, because it absolves you of any responsibility for the culture that you have agreed to be a part of. Let's see, it absolves you of responsibility for the shared reality of our present culture. It's very intoxicating. Once again, he says you'll be able to be safe when we can oppress all the other groups of people and suppress their agenda. Okay? But here's what they're not seeing. So let me just spell this out as easily as I can. Number one, this planet is not a safe place. At any moment of any day, you can drop dead of a myriad of maladies or accidents, and with no warning. This is a planet of continuous and unexpected change. Flood, famine, fire, earthquake, tornado, tsunami, drought, whatever you think is stable and steady in this world is an illusion. This world promises change without a doubt. Hinging your happiness on tomorrow being the same as yesterday is folly. It's an illusion. Number two, people are not meant to live in constant fear. We are meant to fear something, respond with a fight or flight, and move on after the danger has been resolved. Our bodies do not do well. Living in constant fear takes its toll emotionally and mentally, and also physically, so that we know for a fact we're not supposed to be living on that level at all times. And yet the current culture rewards those who live in a constant fear, and that's not okay. In the corporate world, there's that constant fear. I'm going to lose my job, and then what's going to happen? What's going to happen? Well, exactly. And that's kind of it. People who are in the higher echelon on a corporate level, they want that. They want that constant fear, because they want you to do as you are told. They want you to be compliant to the program. And they want you to, shut up and don't make a whole lot of waves, actually. Makes sense. But we, as people, don't work at our optimum levels being in a state of fear. So we've got to find a way, irregardless of what cray-cray is going on outside here, we have to find a way to come back to center and come back to our truth and be at peace with the fact that the world is not a place of security, but our security can be found here. If I lose it all tomorrow, I'll figure it out. I'll figure out something, or I'll die, and it'll be figured out for me. You know what I mean? You know, I'm losing it. I got to get back to the script because I can tell I'm losing it. Okay, back. Number 3, America. From a standpoint of humanity and our environmental concerns, has never been great. We have raped and pillaged our resources, our environment, and our persons of color without impunity since the inception of this nation. When we weren't busy oppressing on our own people, we were racing over to other countries to destabilize their humanely inspired governments so we could set up oppressive puppet governments that were willing to give us give us the drugs, buy our guns and bombs, and buy our oil, and keep our military industrial complex fat and happy. America has never been great. What it is rich. And rich without integrity is just an asshole. And probably the reason behind all the conspiracies anyway. Greed. Rich. So what's the takeaway? Being afraid is a normal reaction to abnormal circumstances. Living in fear and basing decisions on that fear are counter to who we are. That's number 1. And we've got to get back to some sort of peace within ourselves and have faith that we are where we need to be when we're here and that we're going to be okay. We're going to figure it out. Number 2, this planet is not a safe place, and it never was. And governments can tell you that they will keep you safe, but at some point that rhetoric will be tested, and at some point that rhetoric will fail. Or that same government can also become your oppressor. So choose wisely who you wish to follow. My suggestion is you follow people who have integrity, and that they have integrity in their lives. They have integrity in what they want in the world, in their expectations. They have integrity in what they're asking of us. They don't have to be perfect. But oh my gosh, at least walk your talk, for goodness sakes. Number 3, whether you're a supporter of the former president or a supporter of the liberal left, we all want the same things. We want relative safety. We want our children to be healthy, well-educated, and we want them to prosper. We want to be proud of who we are and the environment and the culture. We want to be proud of the environment and proud of the culture that we attach ourselves to. Most of us want the same things. In my opinion, and this is just my opinion, we're all one. Not just humanity, but also including the trees, the animals, the rocks, the earth. We're all energy, expressing ourselves differently, but completely interconnected and interdependent upon each other, upon the whole. In my opinion, we are all one. If I hurt you, I hurt me. If you hurt me, you're hurting yourself. If we hurt the environment, we are ultimately hurting ourselves and our energetic cousins. All life is affected by all life. Physics suggests that we are in control of our reality, and our reality is where we point our attention, where we point our perception, where we point our desire and our expectations. And in this way, we create reality. I believe that we create our reality and that we make decisions and live our lives from a standpoint of personal responsibility and integrity. So let me repeat that because that was goofy. It was written goofy. So I believe that if we make decisions and live our lives from a standpoint of personal responsibility for the whole and integrity to what we know is correct, we will begin to expect and direct the same integrity and responsibility in the outside world. Because what's inside is going to reflect what's outside. Expect it from our bosses, expect it from our landlords and politicians and our neighbors. With that expectation from ourselves, we have to expect it from here first, guys. We've got to expect integrity and responsibility here before we can start expecting it from outside. Excuse me. But we can create a culture, and we can drive all the old paradigms out, and create a society that is a reflection of a majority of people wanting what is right for everybody and for the planet. Now, the old toxic systems and institutions that are making bank from our misery expect resistance. The industrial military complex, the pharmaceutical corporations, insurance companies, banks, all of them will resist this change because it will switch the power back over to the people. And they don't want that. They actually really want the power to be in their hands. So we have to want what is correct and good for our fellow human beings and for our planet more than they wish to oppress us. That also means embracing all of humanity, and not just those that you deem as deserving, and not just those that select few that, you think are okay. That means embracing everybody, all of us, the lowest of the low, the highest of the high, and understanding that need for compassion for everyone. We change our way of being, and change our way of thinking, and our change our way of being, we change our world. There's no more reason to fight one another. It's asinine, and to divide ourselves while we have everything to gain if we all band together. Yeah, it is asinine for us to hurt one another when we have nothing to gain by doing so. In my opinion, we are at our very core love. And that is the most important expression of Source, the most important expression of God, that we love one another. And that's all I got to say. Except when we elevate ourselves, we elevate the whole. So we got to start here and start learning how to love one another, and quit being haters and quit being so divisive, and quit getting out our guns and thinking we're just going to take it over, and start looking at how we're going to do this together. I don't want to fight. I don't want to. I want us to rise up together and go, hey, I'm going to live in integrity, and I'm going to expect you to do so also. I like it. Okay. Ooh, I'm done. I'm going to get back to my day. Y'all have a good one. We'll talk to you later. Bye.